everybody for their input on that. Do you still like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of my guests said that I was like, I don't know if I'm into it anymore. I might want to change it. And she was like, well, you fucking listen to it like 4 times a week.
Well, yeah, that's...
And I was like, okay, I get it. That's fair.
Yeah.
She's like, you listen to it every time you edit, every time you fucking bring somebody in. I was like, all right.
Yeah, maybe it would be sort of a smart move to, like, not listen to it every time before.
I've thought about it.
For that reason, because I feel like it would happen with any song.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't matter what I do.
If you hear it every time, it's going to be like, this shit's fucking annoying. Just like when we were producing music, I think my friend's a music producer, and when he's making songs, he's like, he was telling me about how, like, DJs rarely ever play, like, their own music live, or, like, not like big DJs. They don't really play their music live. They play like other people's like top hits and shit, because the whole time that they're making these tracks, they're listening to them like 3,000 times on repeat.
Yeah.
Every single step of the way. And then when mastering the tracks, they have to fucking re-listen and re-listen and re-listen. And so by the time they go to like perform them or release them, it's like, I don't ever want to fucking hear that again.
Dude, I thought about this quite a bit, because I watch a lot of my favorite artists and shit like on stage, and for one, their stage performance has to be rehearsed a million times fucking over to where it gets to where the performance we see is fucking amazing. But in the studio, I know that they have to repeat everything a shit ton anyway.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about it in my head, like, how the fuck do these guys not get sick of their own shit? And I'm sure there's ways, but that's where they have the ability to mitigate the work. So it's not one guy listening to everything all the time.
Right. Right.
They have people for specific parts and to mix everything.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that when you're in like an actual band, you're only listening to certain parts, like as the drummer or as the guitarist or as the, like, you're only synchronizing with certain parts of the overall piece instead of like every instrument all the time constantly.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I've never done it before.
I can guess just by having fucked with a little bit, like the other intro that I worked with. I've put together something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool, but I did it all on my own, so it got annoying quick.
Yeah.
But when you get to, you can mute parts and you can, re-record certain parts, and yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
But hopefully I'll be able to find out in another degree soon. I don't know how soon. I would just like to.
Yeah, probably not too soon.
Probably not too soon at all. Yeah. I'm like, hey guys, I got a guitar and a keyboard. You want to play?
I would I would wait until like the day you wake up and this is like overnight you've peaked like 1 million follows or some shit, then you're like, oh shit, something happened.
Yeah.
And then like use that as an avenue to like branch off and do some other shit.
I'm for sure gonna use that fucking momentum.
Yeah.
And guide me into that one. Because right now they'd be like, what is this guy fucking doing?
Yeah.
Pick an avenue, dickhead. But well, it's good to have you back on, dude.
Yeah. It's
I've been thinking about your progress and how you've been doing lately. I haven't talked to you much.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like the best of things has happened, which sucks.
No, it definitely hasn't been ideal.
Yeah.
And I've been really bummed because, like, I told you a while back that I didn't want to stop doing the podcast. I was trying to sort of branch out into different like projects and stuff, but I still wanted to be a part of it. I just didn't want to be like as big of a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was just like week after week after week there was like something else. I was like, I can't make it, and I was like, I'm one of those people where like I feel like everything that I say, like any reason for anything is like just an excuse to people, whether it's like your boss or it's family or it's like your friends, or you're going to an event or you have something planned and you're like, oh, never mind. Then over time you just become that guy that's like, oh, he's probably gonna flake again, and like I hate being that guy. So I was just like, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah.
And then when I'm ready, when I know I have the time, then I'm gonna come back. And I almost messaged you today and was like, I can't make it. But it's because when I woke up this morning, so my toddler's been sick for like a week.
Fuck.
He's had like a really bad cold. Like everything is just everywhere. And
That's not good.
yeah, all the orifices are just fucking leaking something. And so I woke up this morning with a sore throat, and I was like, fucking, are you serious? Like, I haven't been sick all week.
Then today?
All month. And then the one day, I'm like, I got a sore throat. But then I got over it. I drank some tea this morning. I took some medicine, like, and I think it was just one of those, like, my throat was too dry or something when I went to sleep. But, yeah, anyway, I've been missing it, and it's nice to be back. I genuinely enjoy this.
Yeah.
I think it's cool as fuck, and like it's felt like a part of me has been missing for a while.
I'm glad you enjoy it that much, man. It's definitely become a big part of what I love to do and who I am, especially like you said, we've been doing this for a fucking year now.
Yeah.
And you were a big part of it. I think you were at least like 6 months of that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to devote, We threw our knowledge and our equipment together and fucking hit the ground running.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of nice because for so many reasons, apparently, I can't seem to do my own fucking thing. So, like, it's nice to be a part of something.
Yeah.
And in some sort of like a partnership or just like be a part of something like this, something that I would like to be doing on my own in some avenue. Mm-hmm. And I just haven't so far. And I keep making excuses. I have all the shit. I have the time. I have the whatever, and I'm just not doing it. And I can't figure out why that's happening to me. Not fully anyway. My therapist talked to me about it, like, briefly, about what it could be like.
What does he think, or she, or they?
She basically told me that I lack self-confidence and a couple of other things too, like having ADHD and autism. Sometimes it's hard to want to start things without the urge to like go 100% in, like be at the top, or the motivation to start something that after you've done this and you've failed and you've done this and you've failed and you've done this and you've failed and you've moved on to all these different like hobbies and passions and things that you want to do, and then really just having some sort of like anxiety about it, like the fear of like what happens next, just like discovering the unknown. Mm-hmm. Like not necessarily that it's gonna fail or that it's it's not gonna be what I think it's gonna be or anything like that, but just like I don't know what's going to happen. And so having that come to light is like a possible fear or something that's holding me back from doing this. And then another thing is that I'm just very weird about the way that I do things. Like, as far as it comes to like streaming, I like being a viewer. I like being a part of the community. I like being that person who jumps into a bunch of different streams and hangs out with all the communities, and like that's how I spend my time. Mm-hmm. And so then I think, well, if I start streaming, I'm going to do that less. And like, do I want to do that less? Like, do I really have to do it less? Like what's a couple hours a day?
I don't necessarily see kind of where the issue would be. I mean, the only thing that I can really, I guess, connect with is like, because even when I start talking about doing bigger projects or something that takes a lot of steps to completion, I get a little bit hesitant just because it's a lot, and it's almost like you kind of don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But you're so familiar with it at this point.
dude.
And at least you have a foot in the door to you fucking know everything. You know how to get to the top of the field.
Right.
Like it's there. We know how to get to the top tier now. So it's like maybe it takes a lot of mental, for me anyway, it took a lot of mental stress to be able to put myself out there and be like completely okay with it.
Yeah.
And that's passed for the most part. But I don't know. I mean, in all reality, you have all the tools.
Well, and it's crazy too because I've helped maybe 10 people get started in the streaming industry,
Right.
and then like now they're at the point where they're making money from it. They have a significant amount of followers. They are like actively on there. They're doing, they have a schedule. They're doing quality and quantity. They're having regular viewers come in. They're expanding their stuff, and like I'm helping them, guiding them, coaching them through the whole process. It's like I know what I'm doing, and I know that I have support, but for some reason, literally, like, it's the bane of my existence. It's been happening to me since I was like fucking 12. Like, I'm like, I want to do this, and then I always just find another reason not to. And I know that the big thing is like, we'll just start. Like, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter where you're at, it doesn't matter what you do, just do it and then go from there. Once you do it and you start, then it gets easier, right? You kind of just, it becomes natural. And even though I know this, I just, I don't know.
And when everything slowed down, I was kind of hoping that maybe you would. I know that you took a break for a lot of fucking reasons, and I don't think starting your podcast was one of them. But I was hoping that you would, because I know that you wanted to press a little bit harder on specific topics, which I'm looking forward to hearing, and I'm looking forward to seeing your format and how you do things.
Yeah,
but that didn't happen. Not yet. Anyway,
I was going to. I had this thing, so for those who obviously don't know, I got laid off of my job about a month ago, and for some bullshit reasons, they just couldn't afford me anymore, and but I was like, okay, now this is it. Like the same day that I got laid off, I was like, okay, now I'm going to use this time to make something happen. All these things that I was like, I don't have time for. I wish I had more time. I just wish that I could, not have to worry about this full-time thing. Like, the decision's been made for me. And then I honestly, I just got kind of depressed. Like, it was just, I was bummed that I lost my job because I liked my job. Not even, like, the money thing. Like, I didn't really care that, like, now I was making no income. I just liked my job. I liked the people that I worked with. I liked the environment. And for me to just be working with these people for, like, a couple years and then not even be able to say, like, bye to them just sucked. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like a fucking bum because I wasn't doing anything while my wife was going to work and the baby was going to daycare, and I was just home fucking grieving, playing video games and shit, just like,
it's so hard to fucking, I learn as I get older, man, that when something like that devastating fucking happens, the more and more that you work for what you had, the harder it gets to fucking bounce back. And I get that, because it's like, you're putting in more and more and more effort and more dedication and time and mental stress and everything like that, that when it fucking hits you in the face like that, you're like, well, why? Why do I want to? Well, it's not why do I want to, but how do I?
Yeah.
How the fuck do I come back from that?
Well, and then it was like,
there's so much to fix all at once. How the fuck do I come back?
Yeah. And then I didn't just want to get a job. I wanted to move into something that I wanted to be doing. So I was going to focus on my own stuff, get started on that while I found another, like, actual place to apply to, just to go back to the similar thing of, like, just having some security while I'm actually finally starting to build my own shit up. And then, so I applied for like 40 places, and the application requirements these days are fucking outrageous.
They're asinine.
Like,
They
it's
really are asinine.
insane. For like, even like, I have experience. I have it on paper. I have it in, you know, years of experience. I have portfolios. I have all of this stuff. I have schooling, and it was still like, even for entry level jobs, they're like, you need 5 to 6 years of experience and this, and this, or you need a bachelor's degree. Some jobs are even like a master's degree for like $18 an hour. I'm like, what the fuck,
dude?
Like,
the salaries these days, you can't start somewhere even with experience. You're not gonna make anything that's livable.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to apply for like a bunch of programming jobs and cybersecurity jobs, and they're like, you need this, or you need a bachelor's degree, or you need a certificate. And I'm like, I don't need a fucking bachelor's degree. Just let me fucking test in.
You're like, I can show you.
And like, and I don't need 8 years of experience to be a fucking level 2 software engineer. Who the fuck are you? Like, and then the pay was like ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
I'm not like a huge like, oh, I'm worth this much or whatever, but asking somebody to have 8 years of experience and a master's degree to pay them fucking $70K a year is bullshit.
That is
like,
bullshit.
You're not being paid what you're worth.
That doesn't work.
And so I applied for a bunch of places, and I didn't hear anything back. And it didn't help that it was like, it was during the fucking holiday. Like, you know, all these places they're going on vacation. They're closing for Christmas. They're closing for New Year's. Like, of course I'm not going to get anyone that's going to reach out to me during this time who starts a job in fucking the end of December.
Yeah, thanks,
like,
guys.
And so then I was just like, well, you know, fuck, I'm not finding anything. And then I was like, well, at this point, what if what I do doesn't work? And then I was just more depressed. And so I didn't end up doing anything. To this day, I still haven't fucking done anything. And I finally got a job opportunity from one of my old jobs. It's sort of like a placement thing. My plan was to test into my certificates, or test in to get my certificates for cybersecurity, and then move into that. But like, then I thought about it after I like bought all of the fucking tests to take them. I was like, I don't even know if I want to be in fucking cybersecurity. It's boring. Like, it's not something I'm interested in. But it's either that or like W3 as far as programming goes.
Right.
And then I applied for a bunch of graphic design companies and like marketing and all these different things, so I can actually like get into the field in a different way. Like, I've been doing it on my own for so long that I wanted to actually get like business to business experience and actually doing it professionally, like under a company. And it was just nothing. They were like, we need experience from somebody who's been doing this with a company, and not your fucking 15 years of graphic design experience, but somebody who has been actually working for a company. And I was like, I have like 50 clients. I've done everything. I have a huge portfolio. And they're just like, nah. And I'm like, what?
Now,
Like,
the only thing that I can fucking wonder in my head is, and maybe you can answer this, maybe you can't. What the fuck would be the difference between a corporate situation as opposed to single clientele?
I have no idea.
Right. And
the only thing that I can think of is just the business to business side of it. Because like me, it's just me to somebody else. And
I feel like that would be outperforming the corporate end of things. Like with corporate shit, you come up with a design and you replicate.
right.
As long as it's impressive, then you replicate. With a customer, you have to worry about it being exactly how they fucking want.
And it's new every time. It's a variety every time.
Right. It's completely different every fucking time.
Some of the stuff is business to business. Like, I did all of Season shit. Her whole website, her logo, her fucking
that website
color
is fucking
scheme.
badass, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I did all that, and so technically it's my business to her business. Like, I did it for her company. You know what I mean? It's like And I've done that with several clients. I've made stuff for their business, you know. So I don't fucking get it, but they're just like, you don't have experience in the right atmosphere, or like some of them told me that I need like analytic experience that's been documented. God. And I'm like, what the fuck do I have to analyze? They're going to tell me what they want me to fucking make them. Like, I don't have to do calculus to fucking figure it out.
It seems a little ridiculous. Like, yeah, it seems a little ridiculous that they want you to analyze. It sounds like analyze previous statistics and read them and make it better.
Yeah.
Which seems really pessimistic that you would ask a new hire to do that.
Or like do research on like what's trending and shit. But like the companies reach out to you with like a rough idea, or, you know, either like a drawing or just like a rough idea or what they're looking for, and then you do it.
Yeah.
Like, you're not like, oh, I gotta figure out something for your company. And sometimes you have to do that, but like I do that all the time. So anyway, it was just
oh man,
you know,
the fucking woes of like re-entering a workforce with a new company. I was thinking about this the other day, man. Like, it took me, I've almost been with the current company right now for 2 years, which is a record for me. And I finally, like, after like a year and a half, I finally feel like it's just a normal place for me to go where I don't have to like watch my ass all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not constantly looking over your shoulder. It's that feeling where you finally feel a little bit comfortable. And I'm like, I don't fucking think I want to do that again. I don't know that time frame. I've never surpassed a place in my work where I've got to that point.
Yeah.
So now that I have, I'm like, I don't fucking know if I want to do. Well, you don't have a choice,
right?
Because of those assholes. But
well, my last job was the longest job I've ever had. I've had like 40 jobs.
Me too.
I normally only last like a few months.
Right.
And then I'm like, I can't fucking stand this anymore.
Yeah, this place sucks and it's not paying enough.
And I was at that place for a couple years, and I was content. Like I was. It wasn't the best, but it was pretty ideal for my situation.
Yeah, I was not expecting that news today, dude.
Yeah.
Not at all. Considering last time I talked to you about it, you were doing progressive things for them.
Yeah.
Things were seemingly moving forward.
Yeah, I was training people. I was fucking coming up with ideas and shit.
They were hitting you for new fucking programs and shit. And all of a sudden...
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It's crazy.
Thanks, guys. You guys are fucking... If I could fucking blow you up right now, I would, but I can't.
Well, and so now at this point...
I'm not trying to deal with that.
I feel like my only option is to do my own thing. Like...
Right.
The world is... it's dead. There's no... like... The only... You can't even find shit opportunities anymore. Like, I told my grandparents, and they're like, whoa, Home Depot is hiring. And I'm like, I'm not going to work at fucking Home Depot.
Grandpa, I can't live off $14 an hour.
There's just no way. And you know, Costco's hiring. And it's like, I get that you could make a career out of working at Costco, but, like, not me. Like, I don't. And just because they're hiring doesn't mean fucking shit. You know.
Well, weirdly enough, she actually got fucking shit canned too before Christmas because of her schedule, and it's for a shitty reason, but she has to work around the kids, you know, things like that. And she was kind of going through the motions, and she's been trying to find a job for a long time, and she finally found one, and it's shit pay.
Right.
But I was like, it's starting. It'll do something.
Right. And
but it's trash.
That's what people kept telling me. They're like, just get something, you know, just remember it doesn't have to be forever. And even if it's taking a step back, like, you don't have to stay there. You can have this established, something to fall back on, and then you can do whatever else on the side. And at this point, I'm like, you know, when I was originally planning to leave my job to move on to something else, it wasn't to work for somebody else again. It wasn't to just become another new employee and build my way up.
Right.
It was going to be something bigger, something greater, something that made me more successful, and something that I liked doing more. And so I really don't want to spend my time trying to find my way back into some company where I'm the new guy, I'm at the bottom, I'm working for somebody else. I either want to be part of a team where we're all equals, we're all in on the same thing, doing the same thing at the same level, or I just want to do my own thing. And so, like, at some point, I have to fucking break that barrier of, like, just fucking do it. Buckle down and just send it. Like, I'm so confident in everything I do, and for some reason, I'm so, like, subconsciously terrified to put myself out in the world. Like, it's really hard for me to comprehend, because in my head there's not like a thing that pops up and it's like, this is the reason. It's just, I'm like, I can do it, I should do it, I know it'll work, but for some reason it's just, I
just can't pull the trigger.
It's just not happening. Yeah.
I mean, fear of failure is a big one, you know? It's more of like a subconscious thing, because I don't think that, I try not to make myself believe that plays into my actual thoughts and processes.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I would be a firm believer that it probably fucking does.
Yeah, I try to be one of those people that is like, as long as you're consistent and as long as you don't give up, if you're doing something, eventually you will be successful.
Right.
Like, and there's a difference, you know, if you're not expanding, you're not growing, you're doing the same boring things. Like, some people just are not interesting. People don't like listening to them. People don't like watching them. Mm-hmm. But eventually, I feel like if you don't give up, your only other choice is success. You know,
it's funny that you say stuff like that. We've been really emphasizing, a few different guests on here have really been emphasizing on simply all you have to do is make progress to some degree. Just keep making baby steps, and at some point you're going to be successful.
Right.
You learn from your failures and keep making baby steps, and at the end of the day, there's no other option.
Right.
So you're 100% right, man.
It takes one person to listen, one person to see, one viral moment.
Right. That opportunity is going to find its way.
Yeah.
As long as you keep trying.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. So
like, I know that it would work out, but I don't know. It's so easy for your brain to come up with reason after reason after reason to not do something. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, people say, well, there's a million reasons not to do this or not to pursue this. And, you know, but, I mean, they're all sort of irrelevant. Like, you know, I mean, for the most part, like, if you live in a house full of 18 people and you're in a fucking one bedroom, like, you obviously can't do some stuff, but, you know, I have the time, I have the space, I have the whatever. I don't know. I kind of hoped that doing this and starting this with you would just sort of ease me into, like, well, I'm already fucking doing it, basically.
Yeah,
like,
let's set up operation at home now.
Like, you know, why not?
Right.
And I don't know. I just
I don't know. It's beyond me, man. Like I said, you have every tool in your pocket at this point.
Well, that's why I give you so much props. Like, whatever level of success this is or what it will be, like, you did it. You're doing it. You started it. We're almost 100 episodes in. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. You know, you're actually doing the thing, and it's not terrible. You know, like,
not anymore, man. Like, not anymore. It's not. I'm irritated about the shit that was terrible.
Yeah.
But I leave it alone because people want to know, you know, from the bottom. So I just leave it alone and I let it be. And now all you have to do is outweigh that shit and move forward. So, and that's the nice part though, is like I'll push on it a little bit harder, but you don't even have to start there.
Yeah.
You don't fucking you're never gonna start there. Your shit's gonna be top notch from day one.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid, isn't it?
It's not. I don't like the word stupid, but I don't see. I mean, I get the fear of putting yourself out there. You've expressed that a number of times here, in other situations, and that's cool. I totally understand, because I almost cried when I had to put my first shit on the internet because I didn't want to hear my own voice, let alone let everybody else fucking hear me ramble.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and you know, slowly I'm checking off these boxes of like these things. Like I've been featured on so many streams, you know, using the mic, talking, playing games with these people. Like I you know, I'm basically doing it through other people.
Yeah. Do you remember? I think it was a long time ago, right before we really started getting into shit. You had told me I was worried about the following and how long it was going to take, and you told me, you know, there's like 7 billion people in the world, and you were like, if you can get 1 million of those to follow you, that's a lot of fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a small amount of the population, so it's super easy to do. But 1 million people will take you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, I keep that now in my head forever. And you know, once people, the nice thing about your specific topic is, I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier for your road to be paved because you know where you're going exactly. That's one thing I don't have, is I don't have a specific real direction. I'm still kind of swinging for the fences on everything that I can and seeing what takes me where.
Yeah.
But
well, and I sort of like that more than sort of covering like a narrower topic, because you know, I don't want to feel like I'm trying to teach anybody anything. Like I'm like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. In a lot of ways I do, and I've done the research and I have the personal experience and I understand the things, but I don't want that, like, oh, this guy's fucking chatting shit, like, get a load of this, and then I'm a fucking controversial topic on the fucking internet because I'm, like, spewing out bullshit. And it's like, I just want to share my experiences and, like, what helps me, what could help other people. I want to keep it completely, like, there's very little research involved. There's, like, I'm not trying to be a therapist or some shit. I just want to fucking talk to people. I want to hang out with people. I want to try to make a positive impact in other people's lives. You know, you get fucking 20 people watching you and they spend 10 hours having a blast just hanging out with you. Like, that's great.
The impact of everything is amazing overall.
Yeah.
I did admire the fact of you wanting to keep it, like you said, kind of narrow topic, but not necessarily. I admire that because I feel personally like that's going to be pretty difficult to maintain.
Yeah.
But what's difficult to me may not be difficult to you. So, but I mean, once you start, that was the craziest thing though, is once I started, my whole idea of what I thought was going to happen completely fucking spun on me.
Yeah.
So once you get started and wherever it takes you, you know, it might be somewhere, it's probably not going to be a whole lot different because you already have a pretty fucking good idea about what you want to be doing. But it might just take a little left turn on you and take you somewhere you didn't expect.
Yeah, that's one of the things that actively goes through my head is like, okay, I'm sitting there, I hit record, now what? Where do I start? What do I say? What? And then I think of these topics and I write them down and I'm like, oh, that's good. And then I'm like, I don't, who would give a fuck about this? And I'm like, do I even give a fuck about this? Like, you know, I don't just want to like ramble about some dumb shit, you know. And then I also, there's just so many like it's me, man. I'm so like, I'm not like hard on myself, but I'm the only person who is fighting with myself. I'm like, I don't want to be that person that's just like, here's my, let me vent or let me tell you about my experience or whatever. Because it's like, who am I? Why would people want to hear my anything about anything? Like, I couldn't imagine a lot of people's like, oh, I wonder what happened to him today, and then they're like, let me see if he released an episode, and it's like, like, even though I know it's not going to be that, that's what plays in my head, is that like, I go to start, and then I'm like, I start second guessing this and rethinking, and I think another part of it too is that I feel like there's so much to do before I begin, and then after I begin, like I have to make all this stuff. Like I have to have a brand. I have to have a platform. I have to have social media. I have to have like all of this, and then I have to figure out like a schedule. And then there's just so many things. I look at this big list of things. I'm like, fuck that. Like I'd rather just not do that.
Yeah.
But it's like I could do all of that in like a weekend. Like it's not hard to do. It's just seeing that big list of stuff is like crazy. And so my therapist told me that, well, instead of just writing everything down and then just trying to go off of that, to write everything down and then pick like 4 things and put them on the today to-do list. So, it doesn't matter like where you pick them from, just pick out 4 things and do those things today. And that helped me a ton in just like getting shit done. But like one of my biggest things is trying to, I have a company and I have a brand, and I've been trying to create a logo to represent my company for like 5 years, and I cannot for the life of me find something that depicts what I want it to be in my head. And it's probably going to sound fucking crazy because I do this as like a job. I do this for people all the time. I come up with ideas for their shit, but for mine, I just absolutely can't find something that I've made probably 30 different logos so far, because I'm like, I like this, but I want people to, when they see it, to understand what it's trying to portray, like what it is, what the brand is, what I'm trying to come across. It's not just some random shit that doesn't make any sense, but it like looks kind of cool, and so that's been like one hindrance. I've been like, this is it, this is the thing, and then I got one, but I made one for like my software engineering side, so it's like somewhat techie, and it won't fit in with like a podcast or like that has nothing to do with technology, so I'm like, well, I can't use that as like a universal thing. And then I'm like, well, do I come up with another name for this thing? And then I'm like, well, I should keep it simple so I don't have like 18 different fucking names for each different thing. It's just a lot, like this is what happens in my head. I'm just all these things, and then these to me are factors of why I haven't gotten started yet. I'm like, but there's always another fucking thing that I have to do,
By the way, I would like to give credit where it's due, because it was brilliant in the beginning, but I had my question marks. The logo that you made, the one that's still on all the sites, I did a post just for shits, to see if I should change the mainstream logo to something. It would be one of the versions of this, just because I didn't want to confuse people. And unanimously, everyone picked yours.
Cool.
A lot of people picked yours.
That's good.
Yeah. And I was like, I mean, I'm impressed. I didn't want... It's not necessarily what I see or what I feel about it. I just wanted to make sure that the message was clear as day.
Right.
And I don't care how people portray that message. I just want to make sure people are getting it.
Right.
And your logo is perfect, but what I'm saying is I have less faith in people's ability to interpret than I should.
Yeah.
Because your logo is intricate.
Yeah.
To say the least. So it was picked unanimously, and people understood it the way it was supposed to be interpreted, and I was fucking impressed.
Well, it's cool.
And I wanted to tell you that. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
People ask about it. People ask about it pretty often, and I'm a little more peeved after that I can't use it as much as I want to because of what it is.
Right.
But it will remain the true face. So thank you.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah, of course.
I felt like I wanted to tell you that. You know, you've had your impacts here, so this shit's just easy.
Right.
It's just easy and simple, and it's a sticker, and it's, you know, you could throw it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yours, I can't fucking do that.
Yeah, and like that's like kind of how I feel. I don't want like a bunch of different versions of something.
Yeah.
You know, because that's not the way that it works. But like I guess it doesn't have to follow a pattern. It's just you look at these companies and you're like, okay, this is this and this is this. Like you see, you know, Toyota and McDonald's and blah, and you just know that that's what it is.
That's the logo.
And they don't have fucking 30 different versions of that. It's just they might have one or two,
right,
you know, depending on where you are. And so it's like I want something that gets it across, but then I'm like, well, it doesn't even have to be like a fucking company. But then what if it turns into a company and then like, yeah, it's just dumb. It's like so fucking dumb. The things that hinder my brain. I'm not even a perfectionist. Like I don't have OCD. I'm not like. I like something and then I'm like, okay, this is it. It's set, and then I'm like, but when you look at this, does it make sense? Like what do you get from this? Mm-hmm. And it's always wrong. It's just
the people's interpretation of your ideas.
Yeah.
Really.
And then to me, I'm like, well, yeah, okay, yeah, that doesn't really make sense. You know, I'm not really used to creating logos for companies. I've done it, but normally, like, they give me an idea, and then I roll with it, and if they like it, they like it, and if not, then not. But I normally do like customize like commissions for people, and so they give me stuff and I make like avatars or backgrounds or banners or emotes or, you know, layouts or something like that, where I just have these sort of specific guidelines, but it's more just something that they like, something that's appealing, something that, you know, is professional looking, but not like a fucking company logo.
Making logos,
you know,
is like such a cunty process to me, man.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it because like you have to be creative in the dumbest ways, and you have to be able to twist shit and make it look cool, and I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do it.
Well, then you have to make sure that it looks good small, like, you know, theoretically on a card, right, or big on a billboard, or
it's a fucking bullshit process.
And it's like, so it can't be too detailed, but it can't be too plain. And then, you know, I don't know.
I'm thankful for people like you and the guy that created this shit, because I had no fucking hope for myself.
Yeah.
None, dude. I was like, what the fuck? And luckily you guys saved my ass, because I wasn't going to do it. You should have seen the rough drafts of the shit that I came up with on my own. Did I ever show you those?
I think so.
You want to see some primitive shit? Oh, man. I was, like, splicing pictures that I found off Google together and, like, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
It was bad, but anyway. I get what you're saying. And
Well,
it's
just I don't know. Maybe somebody can help. Maybe you can help. I don't know. Maybe I can use an outside perspective. So my company name is Just Brain Soup, and the reason for that is because that's what I call what's happening inside of my fucking head. Is like it's just chaos, but in the end, it's like just brain soup. All of my creativity in any avenue that I use it in is just a concoction of bullshit. This mixed batch of just whatever. It's like chaos, it's creative, it's whatever. And so for me, I've been calling it brain soup for a while, and then I was like, I didn't, I was trying to think of like what my style, what my thing is, and I was like, it's not anything. It's just brain soup. It's just it's whatever fucking comes out. I just go with it.
When you say that, the first thing that comes to mind, I'm pretty sure it's a board game logo, and I don't remember which board game, but it's all you see is just like a silhouette of a person, almost looks like a mannequin, and it's got like the top half of the head is gone, and you see question marks coming out of it. It's like the first thing that comes to mind. See, I'm not very good at this.
Yeah, I that's ran through my head.
Has it?
Everything has ran through my head, man.
Well, I'm glad we're okay there.
What I originally wanted was like an actual like bowl of brain soup, but I really wanted it in the style of Alex Party. He's like one of my favorite artists ever, and he makes the coolest looking artwork. And I was always like, I wish that I could just message him for a commission and be like, I need you to turn this into something. And then I was going to use that, right? But one, it would never work. It would be too complex for a logo, right? And like I don't know. I've came up with like cool shit. I've came up with abbreviations like just JBS and put that into a thing, and it just nothing works. Every time that I make something, I'm like, this doesn't mean anything. And I don't want just like a fucking stupid generic logo of like a brain, like in fucking like line art or some shit, I'd
have to stew on that one, no pun intended.
Yeah. It's been a real process, but anyway,
wow.
Yeah, sorry for the fucking rant.
No, we're good, man. It's the woes of everything that you're going through right now, and the it's the really unfortunate part that a lot of people are going to connect with that because of how many people that are going through it right now too. We're not alone there. The economy is fucking everybody pretty well equally, I think. Well, minus a certain crowd that we're not going to get into, but I'm fucking glad to have you back, and hopefully we'll see, but hopefully we can get you on a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know you said you love doing it, so that'd be cool.
I should have the time.
I'm pretty open, I'm not. It's not going anywhere. So I'm here, man. I'm fucking here.
Before, my schedule was a little bit more restricted.
Right.
Now, I mean, like right now, I can come fucking whenever, pretty much. But once I start working and stuff, it doesn't have to just be to one day. It could be. At this point, I don't fucking care. I'm done trying to fucking time slot shit into my life.
That's good.
Like I don't fucking care. I'm just gonna do what I want to do when I feel like doing it, and except for my own shit.
We'll visit that one soon. Well, I appreciate it, man. Is there anything you want to throw in before we close out?
I wish.
No plugs. I mean, you've said quite a bit of helpful shit today, so.
I wish there was. It's good to be back. Thank you guys for the indirect support with the logo thing. That's really cool. Yeah. Season was telling me this story about how the website I built her was like, it got all this praise, and it was like the top in her like class of people.
Yeah.
And
I was fucking with it too. It's super interactive.
yeah,
But it's also, in the same token, it's super simple, and I loved it.
yeah, and it just made me feel good, you know. Like I always do stuff that makes me and the people I do stuff for happy. I make sure that we're both satisfied with it before I deliver it. But it's just cool to hear. It's just it's a nice thing to hear every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, that just good job with this and this, or you know. So thank you guys. That was really cool.
So
it means a lot.
So let that be heard. If you need website designs, if you need emotes made, if you need graphic design, coding, fucking any of your computer needs, that's your man. Hit him up. You can get to him through me.
I promise I'm good at it, and I can do. I can basically do anything. Animated, not animated.
What his last job meant was he was overqualified. That's what they fucking meant. So they could suck a dick.
Yeah.
So anyway, same bullshit, man. Like, follow, subscribe. You're not gonna see it tonight because this won't be dropped for another couple of weeks. But today's a very important day, and I'm gonna say that in the next episode too.
It is.
It's gonna be a big fucking curveball for everybody because they're gonna listen to this and be like, "Well, when was that?" And the only hint that I'll give you is that tonight we will be recording the 100th episode, even though this is not. That will be happening tonight. So, yay!
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
Keep liking, keep following, keep subscribing for all your notifications. Spotify will send you a text every time we drop. I even get them. It's annoying, but
And as soon as they do anything with my life, you guys will you'll know about it. So
we'll keep him in check. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Love you.